So we can store sugar, put it in glycogen in the liver and in muscle, for example. We can convert sugar to protein, or we can do a number of different things. We can feed the brain. We have a lot of energy to be thinking, right? All of a sudden. But because blood sugar, when it gets too high, is very dangerous. Actually, one of the things that happens to diabetics is they even become blind from sugar deposits in the cells in the eyes. But in any case, the thing being that when the insulin level is high, the sugar is being turned to fat. So everybody I see is eating low fat, and but the low fat that they're eating is sugar that goes straight to the bloodstream in a very, very short time. And so the higher the peak in sugar, the higher the insulin. And when the insulin level is high, when it gets to these spots here, basically all of that sugar is turning to fat. So this is why everybody's putting on weight. And the particular problem, though, is that, as you can see here, like for example, we have the normal curve, and we compare the one where you have, say, a diet that has more sugar or more quickly digested sugar. So you have a stronger peak here. The low always ends up being much, much stronger afterwards. And if you're wondering why the low would be so much lower, is that your stomach is, if let's say you have a chocolate bar or you have a glass of juice, your stomach is releasing several grams of blood sugar, probably every few minutes. Your blood sugar is, as we saw, 70 to 125 milligrams per deciliter. So in 5 liters of blood, we have room for 3 to 6 grams of sugar in the blood. So if you went from a really low blood sugar state, you could only add about 3 grams of digested sugar, and you would bring yourself up to here. Whoops. So consider a glass of apple juice. It's 30 grams of sugar, and it's 30 grams of sugar that really has nothing holding it back from just going through the stomach wall and into the blood. So 30 grams is 27 grams more than can actually fit in the bloodstream, and it's gone in 20 minutes. So that's why apple juice is fattening. It's because you're getting all this sugar. Oh, and the reason why the low afterwards is so strong is that when the insulin gets this high, you're actually converting 1 or 2 grams of sugar in the blood to fat every minute. The number I'm giving of 1 or 2 grams is not calculated, not really scientific, but in any case, a ton of sugar. And you're, at the same time, your stomach is actually adding 1 or 2 grams or 3 grams or whatever of sugar a minute. And so it's balancing itself out at a certain point. So you can see here, for example, it managed to finally bring it down. But it takes a while for the insulin to go away. And so when you had that strong a peak and you were adding so much sugar, and when that 30 grams finally runs out, the 30 grams of apple juice that you had, well, you still have all that insulin in your blood. And now all of a sudden, that insulin is causing the small amounts of sugar that are left to go down. And when they go down, well, that's where you get really, really hungry. And so people are eating much more. You're one of the reasons why I think everybody, or so many people, are suffering from obesity is that you're constantly bringing yourself into this state, and you're eating food that just causes this over and over again. And one of the things also to keep in mind is that insulin, the insulin reaction gets stronger and stronger because your body adapts. It realizes that, hey, I keep getting too much sugar. I need to get it out of there fast. And when it gets stronger and stronger, you're going to realize, and this happened to me personally years ago, I became hypoglycemic, where I had to eat food constantly, and I was always suffering from these ups and downs. And In the same way that your insulin reaction gets stronger and stronger the more you eat these fast sugars, um, it'll go back to normal if you change your diet. So it's one thing to look forward to. So, you know, looking again at blood sugar, think about the fact that digestion is supposed to take up to 3 days. We're supposed to be getting food out of our meal for more than 20 minutes, you know, and stomach digestion itself lasts for 3 to 4 hours. And while stuff is in the stomach, there are certain types of things that digest very, very quickly, and that's stuff like white bread. It's stuff, I mean, obviously desserts that are ice cream and other things are just free sugar that's in a solution, and it doesn't take long for that all to go through the blood, the stomach lining. So those are the things, those are the reasons why those foods are so fattening. So in any case, we were talking about the general nutrients a few minutes ago. We'll go back now, and I'll just spend a few minutes on each just to kind of give an overview of what maybe should be kept in mind. So amino acids, protein. So obviously their purpose is protein, enzymes, a lot of amazing stuff. This is what makes life, right? You know, one thing you'll see in everything that I present here, it's a question of balance. The goal in your diet should not just be to have, you know, X grams of this every day and X grams of that every day. That's the whole day. You should be looking instead at having the optimal amount all day long. Obviously, you know, we're made to eat meals and to have kind of somewhat ups and downs, but you can see here that the normal curve, I mean, I don't know if this breakfast was very good, but you can see the huge difference between this curve here, which goes up and then down a little bit because the insulin reaction was still pretty strong. But then, you know, it goes back to staying at around 90. And if you eat a different kind of meal, it's very, very different, was my point here. Oh, yeah. So the idea is we're looking to get maximum amount, or not maximum, the ideal amount of everything at every moment, right? Not just at the meal, but throughout the day. And that's how you're going to be, you know, most productive, smartest, most able, and most fun to be with, because your mind is really affected by, and your moods are affected by, you know, the lows that you might be feeling. So, or the lows in nutrients. So in any case, looking at it from a balanced perspective, if you have too little protein, you know, you don't have to worry about the protein that you can generate from sugar in general, but you do have to make sure you get your essential amino acids. And you don't have to eat meat to do this, obviously. Rice with beans together. Rice has some essential amino acids, beans have others, and together they have everything you need. So, you know, on the surplus side, on the other hand, you know, protein is slowly digested, which is good. My original approach a few years ago, when I first started to try to control my sugar, was to eat more protein and to stay low fat. Unfortunately, the conversion of protein to sugar is slow, and it taxes your system, and you don't feel that great. I feel much better now that I'm eating a more balanced meal, a more balanced diet. And finally, protein is expensive. So, you know, if you decide to make it a mainstay of your diet, not only are you taxing your kidneys or whatever organs are involved in the conversion, but you're also spending a lot of money, and it's also not very good for the environment in general if you're looking at meat. So anyhow, moving on. Carbohydrates. One type of carbohydrates is fiber. Fiber is very simple. It's indigestible, long chains of sugars. Sorry, I have a typo here. So there are no calories in fiber, none whatsoever. The only purpose is to help digestion in the intestines. So, you know, don't worry about fiber too much. If you're constipated, eat more fiber. If you're the opposite of constipated, then eat less fiber. But be reminded though, if you're not taking much fiber and you're still constipated, and you're having diarrhea, then there's probably something else.